Welcome to Man Utd Transfer HQ, your ultimate source for Manchester United news, rumours, and updates. Today news is 13 Premier League stars fighting for their futures, including Man United and Liverpool players. A host of Premier League clubs will sanction ins and outs this summer, with several names needing big ends to the season if they are to prove that they're worthy of staying put. The Premier League is 9 games from ending, and with so many teams operating below par, changes are expected. It could be a big summer for a number of clubs, with players set to come in whilst others move on. Liverpool have set the pace, clearing off from the pack, but with some of their major names potentially moving on, Arne Slot may have to make some major changes if the Reds are to remain a force. Below them, everyone will be playing catch-up, and this season will have shone a light on some concerning issues. Arsenal have not mounted the challenge they'd hoped for, Manchester City need to bring down the age of their squad, Chelsea are still some way off being the team they want to be, whilst Manchester United are making more unwanted history. It is at Old Trafford that the biggest changes are expected to take place. Ruben Amorim has come in but struggled to make an impact, with his philosophy arguably making things worse. He needs his own players if he is to be a success, but plenty of individuals will be sweating on their futures. Joshua Zirkzee is an example of a signing who has not worked out. He moved from Bologna in the summer but could already be deemed surplus to requirements, with goals a serious issue in Manchester. Andre Onana is another Erik ten Hag signing who is yet to convince, albeit he's determined to remain at Old Trafford. Loanees like Marcus Rashford and Antony are looking to prove themselves away from the club, but had been largely ineffective when they were given chances under Amorim before falling out of favour. Mason Mount, with all his injury issues, is a man yet to prove himself. Chelsea are another club who seem to have a bloated squad, which is hardly surprising given the amount they've spent and the number of players they've bought in. Their form throughout 2025 proves that they still have a way to go. Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall was signed by Enzo Maresca after their time together at Leicester, but he's been little more than a squad player. The same could be said of Christopher Nkunku, albeit he was signed before Maresca arrived. He failed to achieve a January exit, but a parting of ways seems inevitable. Arsenal haven't hit the heights of previous seasons, with additions needed to aid their charge for next term. However, the likes of Raheem Sterling, who will leave and return to Chelsea when his loan ends, is an example of a player needing to prove he can recapture the type of form he hasn't shown for several seasons. Stay tuned for more updates on Man Utd Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe. Our second news is Man United way up paying more than top targets release clause after Ruben Amorim steps in. Manchester United boss Ruben Amorim is keen to land Francisco Trincão from Sporting Lisbon, but the Portuguese club are likely to demand more than his release clause. Manchester United may have to pay well over Francisco Trincão's release clause if they want to land the Sporting Lisbon star due to a complicated sell-on clause. Ruben Amorim is keen to reunite with the player whom he coached in Portugal and is confident he would be a good fit in the Premier League following a brief stint at Wolves. Sporting are braced to lose a number of their leading lights, Victor Gyökeres among them. As a result, they're prepared to dig their heels in and demand well over the £50 million release clause Trincão is said to have in his contract, with the Mirror revealing United's interest at the weekend. The 25-year-old joined from Barcelona, but the Spanish giants will take 50% of his future sell-on fee, reports The Sun, which limits the amount Sporting will land. Amorim's former side want £35 million, which could mean they'd need to sell for at least £70 million once Barcelona have taken their cut. Sporting are ready to offer Trincão a new contract in a bid to keep him at the club, but the lure of a move back to England may be too much. The issue for the Manchester outfit will be a lack of funds, unless they can win the Europa League, which would result in Champions League qualification. Unless that happens, the team are set for an all-time low finish in the Premier League, hampering their summer plans. Amorim's squad is in major need of an overhaul despite constant spending in recent years. However, the new manager may have to do that on the cheap if no silverware is claimed come May. Already United have missed out on Giovanni Quenda, whom they were heavily linked with. The youngster came through the ranks at Sporting and Amorim was keen to bring the player to Old Trafford, but Chelsea have swooped in and already secured a deal ahead of the summer. There had been inevitable talk of Gyökeres, who has become one of Europe's top front men, following Amorim to Manchester. The Swede though is keen to play in the Champions League, which makes a move to Old Trafford unlikely. Amorim's only signing since joining the club has been Patrick Dorgu, who joined from Leeds, with the player able to play the wing-back role that features in the new system. The United boss has stuck to his unique philosophy, which will require certain players if it is to be a success. That means several areas will have to be targeted in the summer, with doubts surrounding a host of United's players. The club's hierarchy were willing to listen to offers for almost the entire squad, including the likes of Kobbie Mainoo, such as their need to raise funds. Stay tuned for more updates on Man Utd Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more Man United transfer news. Our last news is football news. Jamie Carragher not angry with Liverpool move amid Marcus Rashford plea. Trent Alexander-Arnold's exit from Liverpool is edging closer, but Jamie Carragher claims he's not angered by a potential free transfer as Marcus Rashford is urged to quit Manchester United for Aston Villa. Premier League action will resume next week following the international break, with Liverpool looking to edge closer to the title and put their latest setbacks behind them. 2 successive losses have derailed what could have been a historic season. Instead, a top-flight success is the only trophy they're set to land, with Arsenal's challenge all but done, even if they are still mathematically still in the hunt. Their immediate challenge is on wrapping up second spot, with the Champions League still in their sights. Manchester United meanwhile will look to make it 5 games without a loss when they head to high-flying Nottingham Forest. Ruben Amorim has enjoyed some time out of the spotlight but remains under pressure to improve fortunes at Old Trafford. Sir Jim Ratcliffe recently gave an insight into his time at the club, holding little back when it came to performances, financials and underperforming players. More changes though are needed if the Red Devils are to become successful amid continued fan discontent. Jamie Carragher has defended Trent Alexander-Arnold ahead of his possible free transfer to Real Madrid. The Liverpool icon admits he is disappointed that the academy graduate has decided to leave Anfield instead of pursuing more major honours with his boyhood club. Real Madrid are long-term admirers of Alexander-Arnold, who has been free to speak with overseas clubs since January after entering the final 6 months of his deal. It has emerged this week that an agreement to take the player to Spain is all close to done, which has divided opinion. He said on the Stick to Football podcast, "It seems like there's not one thing people are unhappy with, it's leaving on a free or that he should have come out and told the club earlier. People are angry for 3 or 4 different things. I'm not angry about him going on a free. In an ideal world, Liverpool would get £70 million or £80 million for him to reinvest, but you can't have it both ways as a supporter." Aston Villa have told Marcus Rashford that they can continue making him better, as the striker enjoys a renaissance under Unai Emery, having moved on loan in January after being axed by Ruben Amorim. His long-term Manchester United future remains in question, but he's enjoyed a productive start to life with Villa. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Man United Transfer HQ, and turn on notifications so you're always in the loop with the latest transfer news and rumors. One more thing, what are your thoughts on these updates? Comment below.